Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. This week, as you saw by the title, we are making some chicken dinners. I have 4 recipes to share with you, and a couple of these I was honestly just trying to use up some ingredients out of my refrigerator, but they ended up being really good meals, so today I'm going to share all 4 of these with you. To begin today, we're making some sweet and spicy sriracha tacos. This was a really nice change up from my regular taco night. I really enjoyed these. I just took 1 chicken breast and cut it into smaller bite-sized pieces. And then over to my skillet, I added a little bit of olive oil and then added that chicken in there after it had heated up. I went ahead and added just a little bit of salt and pepper. I did not use very much. I only had 1 chicken breast here. I just wanted to give it a little something. After my chicken had fully cooked through, I added 1 tablespoon of sriracha and 1 tablespoon of honey. I went ahead and got that mixed together and I let that heat through for about a minute or so until my chicken was completely covered and I didn't really notice there was any sauce in the bottom of the pan. Here's what my finished plate looked like. I added some shredded lettuce, little avocado, sour cream, extra sriracha because in my opinion you can never have enough, and I squeezed on a little bit of lime juice. Next, we're going to make this easy veggie dump bake. This is great this time of year when you have a lot of veggies and stuff coming out of your garden that you just really need to use up. I started by preheating my oven to 375 degrees. I'm only making a small amount of this because it was just for me, but I went ahead and took half of a yellow onion and I chopped that up into bigger pieces. And then I had some mushrooms in the refrigerator that were looking a little rough, so I went ahead and sliced those up. I chopped up half of a green bell pepper and half of a red bell pepper, along with 1 small zucchini that I cut into half moons. Once all of that was in my little baking dish, I just kind of mixed them together and then I moved on to cutting up a piece of chicken. And again, I'm just cutting this into smaller bite-sized pieces. And then I'm going to evenly distribute this over top of the veggies. I want to keep the chicken on the top. Over top of the chicken, I'm adding a half can of diced tomatoes. These ones do not have green chili, so just plain diced tomatoes. And then this is really important. I like to use orzo in this recipe because it's very small and it gets tender really easy because you don't want to have chewy pasta in this. I go ahead and just pour that over the top as evenly as possible. And then for seasonings, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, about 1 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. You can always adjust the seasonings when it's all done as well. And then last but not least, I'm adding a half cup of chicken broth over top of everything. I covered this with foil and then it baked in my oven for about 45 minutes. Once the 45 minutes was up, I took it out of the oven and I went ahead and mixed it around. My orzo was probably 90% of the way done, so at this point you'll just want to mix it up so that when it goes back in the oven, the orzo can finish soaking up a lot of that liquid. And then over the top, you're going to add some shredded cheddar cheese. I probably added about a cup or so. And then I put this back in the oven for 10 more minutes to allow the orzo to finish and the cheese to melt through. Here's what it'll look like when it is all done. I just added some parsley over the top. I love meals with lots of veggies like this. This was perfect for me. I ate on this for about 3 days and it was just so delicious. And like I said, if you need to adjust the seasonings, do that before you put the cheese on because everything is mostly done at that point, so you can go ahead and taste it and see what it needs. And now we're gonna go ahead and make a super simple chicken sub. I went ahead and took one chicken breast and cut that in half, and I just seasoned it with some of my favorite Parmesan ranch seasoning. I let this cook through on both sides, and when it was all done, I added on some cheese. I'm just using some Monterey Jack cheese today. I was using shredded cheese just because that's what I had in the fridge, that's what needed used up, but of course you can use slices instead, and I'm just going to add the lid and let this melt down. Since it was so hot, I went ahead and decided to not toast up my bun, but toasting your bun definitely does make a sandwich a lot better in my opinion. When my chicken was done, I went ahead and laid that on my sub bun, added tomatoes, some onion, and avocado. On the opposite side there, I went ahead and added some mayonnaise as well. And that's really all there was to it. This was an extremely simple dinner. It was also a meal where I was trying to use up stuff in the refrigerator, and it turned out delicious. I would eat this again and again and again. However, I definitely recommend toasting your bun, but it was still really good this way as well. And last but not least, this is something I've been really wanting to make for a while. Cheesy broccoli, chicken, and rice. This is my kind of meal. My husband would hate it, but oh my gosh, so good. I started by chopping up half of a yellow onion into nice small pieces. Over to my cutting board, I went ahead and chopped up a piece of chicken into smaller pieces as well. And then on my stovetop, I had a nice big pot there. I added my chicken breast in there with some olive oil that I heated up, and I am seasoning my chicken with about a half teaspoon of garlic, a half teaspoon of salt, and a little less than a fourth teaspoon of pepper. I got that all mixed together and I let this cook for only about 3 minutes. After about 3 minutes, I did add in that onion. I just didn't want it to start cooking as soon as the chicken did because I did not want my onion pieces to burn. Once my onion was translucent, which did take about 5 more minutes, and my chicken was pretty much all the way cooked at this point, I added in a tablespoon of minced garlic and let this go for about another minute until I could really smell the garlic. Now you're going to need to add in 1 cup of long grain white rice, as well as 1 3/4 cup of chicken broth. You can use low sodium chicken broth in here if you'd like to, or regular, it really doesn't matter. I did go ahead and take the time to scrape the bottom of my pan to make sure I picked up all that really good flavor from the chicken, onion, and garlic. I added on my lid and let this go for about 15 to 20 minutes until the rice had absorbed all the liquid. And at this point, you want to make sure you give it a taste and see if your rice needs more liquid. If you think so, add about a 1/4 cup at a time until you start getting your rice at the proper tenderness. I'm also adding in 1 bag of frozen broccoli. I did let my broccoli thaw so it wasn't completely rock solid, and this took about 10 more minutes for the broccoli to get warm and tender as well. When I tasted the rice to make sure it was done, I almost forgot I wanted to add a little bit more seasoning, so I added a little bit more garlic, salt, and pepper. Make sure you do this to your own taste though. Now everything is completely done in the pan. I'm going to add in 1 cup of extra sharp cheddar cheese in here and mix that together. If you don't like extra sharp cheddar, that's totally fine. I know some people aren't a big fan of it just because it is a lot stronger. You can use mild cheddar in here as well, but I really love that really strong flavor of cheese. And then to finish it off, we're going to add a little bit more cheese over the top, add as much as you want. I probably added a half cup to 1 cup more on the top. I turned the heat on this burner all the way off, added a lid, and just let this cheese melt over the top, and then it was ready to eat. This was what my bowl looked like. I was so happy eating this dinner. It's been forever since I've made anything quite like this, just mostly because my husband hates broccoli, but this is so good. Definitely a comfort food for me. If you stayed and made it to the end of this video, I would love for you to leave me a flower down in the comments so I can see who made it all the way through. Also, down below, let me know if you're planning on trying any of these recipes, and if you do, I'd love for you to share that with me over on Instagram. My name is right there on the screen. You can search that on Instagram and find me there. And I will see you guys back here on Wednesday with a really good video. Bye guys!